I grew up in Harlem, New York in the 1950s. Harlem was segregated. And in Harlem, you never questioned being Black because there were a million people who looked just like you. Harlem was absolutely heaven. There was no crime. And the streets were so clean and so clear that you could eat off the sidewalk. I know because every Saturday morning, my grandmother and the grandmothers from every single building on the block got down on their knees and with buckets of bleach water, hot, soapy bleach water, scrubbed the foyers, scrubbed the sidewalks in front of our tenement buildings. And we played hide and seek in the apartments because nobody locked their doors. So you'd find a kid under your kitchen table or a kid in your kitchen closet. It was the best time of all. Harlem was a community that's loved its children. Back in 1955, for reasons that were beyond my understanding, my mother decided to take me to school. Now, I had run by the school building. It had steep gray granite steps with silver slivers in them. And I would play tag up and down, up and down. You have never played tag until you're trying to catch somebody up and down steep granite steps, okay? And so for one day, my mother takes me by the hand and leads me up those stairs into that courtyard and into a classroom. That school had nothing to do with me. I looked around and I said to the kindergarten teacher, I'm smart enough already. At 5 years old, I knew everything there was to know. I said, I don't want to learn how to read, and I don't need to learn how to write. My mother always said I was very smart. And so my kindergarten teacher said, you are very smart. And we played games. I was like, games? You play games here? I love games. I really like games. And she says, then after games, we have snacks. And I was like, snacks? Oh, my goodness. I love snacks. And I said, well, I'm going to stay in kindergarten for a little while. I'm going to play a few games. I'm going to eat lots and lots of snacks. And then I'm going home. And I looked at my mother, and she's edging away. And I said, well, I guess she could manage without me for a little while. And my kindergarten teacher said, of course. So I said, well, what game are we going to play first, and where are the snacks? She said, first, let's do this. And she opened up a book. And she read Little Brown Baby with the Sparkling Eyes. Who's Daddy's partner and Mama's joy? Little Brown Baby with the Sparkling Eyes. And I laughed. I was a little brown baby. That was what my great Uncle Clarence called me. I had only been in kindergarten one day, and they had already written a book about me. Hot diggity. I decided right then and there, yes, I did. I said, I'm going to stay in this kindergarten for the whole day. My kindergarten teacher, she made everything we did a game. She never said no, she never said don't, and she never said stop, and she never said sit down. We had a hat we wore for math, and then we had a little skirt we wore for spelling, and all of which we made ourselves. Yes, we did. And then we had this crazy dance, oh yes, for reading. Oh my goodness, she had us moving and grooving all over that classroom. And then she would open up her mouth, and out would come these musical sounds. Onomatopoeia! And 20 wiggly, giggly bodies and brown eyes and full mouths opened up and said, onomatopoeia! It was many years before I knew what onomatopoeia meant. But I knew one thing. I was little, but I knew a big word. Yes, I did. Now, back in 1955, the reading text for the entire United States was Fun with Dick and Jane. And Dick and Jane were two white children with blonde hair and blue eyes, and they lived in a white house with a white picket fence in the suburbs. And they had a sister named Sally and a dog named Spot. Poor Dick. Poor Sally. Poor Jane. They never played the games we played. Being loved at PS 90 and in the tenements of top floor to bottom floor relatives with the easy drawls of Charleston, South Carolina, was an experience that Dick and Jane never had. Poor Dick, poor Jane, poor Sally. In the forbidden stories that my kindergarten teacher told us, Paul Laurence Dunbar, James Weldon Johnson, County Cullen, in those forbidden Black children's stories was a counter-narrative that we were Black and we mattered. She was a teacher, and it is said that a teacher affects all eternity. It was only 9 months. 9 months can make a person. 9 months changed the rest of my life. Once when I was in high school, I saw my kindergarten teacher, Miss Loretta Abbott, on Channel 2, PBS. She was one of the original Alvin Ailey dancers. And she was dancing next to Alvin Ailey in one of the early versions of Revelations, his signature work. And I said, that's why she choreographed the entire curriculum, because she was a dancer. But in the lessons that she gave us, they have lasted me for a lifetime. And feeling good about being brown, and feeling good about South Carolina, Charleston, the easy draws and the love of the people, and always remembering onomatopoeia. Thank you, Miss Abbott.